Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. As always, like, subscribe, follow, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and as well as on social media, Instagram, TikTok, or X. I hope everyone's enjoying their week. I do apologize for not doing a Tuesday episode, but I am back today. Just catching up, just needed a break over the last 2 days. I was a little burnt out, especially when I did have to go out on a little bit of a road trip to go pick up something and driving back, and then also just doing the episodes Monday, Sunday. I did 2 episodes Monday morning, or 2 episodes on Monday, the weekend, and then Thursday, Friday, I believe I did episodes as well. So yeah, definitely a busy last couple of days. It is a little downtime right now. We only have the men's squad going on. Women are on international break. We won't be seeing them until March 15th when I'll be doing the live follow along, or the live watch along for the Women's League Cup final. And then the Sunday doing the watch along for the men's game against Crystal Palace. So we'll have that there. But yeah, I hope everyone has been enjoying their week. I hope everyone's recovering from the win on Monday against Everton. I know a lot of people are talking about the Sesko goal and everything going on and the training that he's doing. We've been seeing a lot of those posts. Still, I know they're talking about the financials. Listen, the financials for United can be concerning. Still $1.3 billion in debt, but just last year, it did not look the greatest. And this year, you're going to have the sacking of Amram and his coaches. So those funds are going to be there. It's expected to be up to £15.9 million spent in regards to the sacking of Amram and his group overall. So yeah, that's great. They're still talking about transfer targets. I know Altay Bayender, a report just came out that he's off to, or he will be when the summer starts, that we do have a sale. I've been seeing £4.36 million sold for him. So he will be leaving, potentially, for all we know, he's leaving in the summer. So we have at least somewhat of a sale that's going on. Obviously, the room, especially with Harry Maguire potentially returning, obviously the Andre Onana saying he's going to come back and try to reclaim number 1. We'll see about that. I'm not going to get into it. We know he'll be there, but I don't think he'll be beating out Lemens for the starting job because, well, I think it's his. I think we're seeing the performance here. I think it's his. So we'll be looking probably for a new keeper this summer, at least a number 2, someone to help challenge Lemens, either for rotation. We'll see that there. Probably will need an additional one because Heaton probably will retire this summer. I love how when you're reading Twitter and everything, you're seeing all these posts in regards to still people talking about Ruben Amorim and everything, what Carrick is doing. Listen, Carrick is our manager. I'm not going to argue against what he's been doing. We're succeeding. I'm not going to take that away. But Amorim's been gone for a month and a half, ladies and gentlemen. Just listen. I wish it worked out. I really do. Unfortunately, it did not. Listen, we can talk about everything until the cows come home, but unfortunately, a decision was made and it was done. We know he wasn't let go because of win percentage or anything. He was let go because he spoke out. He was spoke out. Amorim was here for the long term. Carrick is here for the short term. If Carrick does remain as the manager, then right now, well, yeah, again, if he does remain as the manager, we know things are going to have to change. That's the truth right there. Things will need to change. He knows that the personnel will change for him. Like, right now, he is just playing yes man to what's being there. One thing too is if we do get a new manager, they're going to have to spend. So I know they're talking about Nagelsmann. I know now, as per Ben Jacobs, they're talking about Roberto Martinez. Roberto Martinez is potentially leaving the Portuguese national team after the World Cup. So there's an opportunity for him to come in, which is kind of in a tough spot. Because again, I know they're talking about Nagelsmann. I know they're talking about, now Roberto Martinez, and all that. But these are managers that are going to be there from the World Cup. So they're not going to be focused on trying to get everything going, personnel, trying to implement a system. Like, they're going to be looking for a coach. Like Ineos, Wilcox, or Barada, they're going to be looking for a coach, a person that's just going to be like, just do what we tell you to do. Here's the players. So that's the one thing. And does Roberto Martinez want to do that? No. I know a lot of criticism goes with Roberto Martinez, especially with the talents that he's had and obviously the teams, whatever. He does have Premier League experience. He's managed Wigan. He's also managed Everton. So we know that he's been in the Prem. We know what he's capable of doing. We saw the success that he had with Belgium. It was success. Again, it's hard to win. You have the talent, but let's be honest, it is hard to win in tournaments, especially when you're facing against France, Argentina, Brazil, Italy, Spain. You are facing England. You are facing tough clubs. Yes, he got Belgium up to one point at number 3 in the world FIFA ranking. So he helped grow it. He now joined Portugal. Obviously, not the best success we had some success at the Euros, obviously losing to France. Was there, winning the UEFA Nations League last summer. So you saw that there. You saw them winning, you saw them beating, you saw him getting a trophy. And now he's off to to the World Cup. And that's going to bring a challenge as well. Is there an opportunity for them to succeed? Yes. But right now, I'm just pulling up a potential list of Manchester United manager targets, because, it's going to be there, because nothing's guaranteed. You can speculate all you want. So this is the evening news. I'm just going to be double checking one more thing, because I know they're still looking at Xavi, obviously Carrick. We don't know what's going to happen with Carrick, because I know Roberto Martinez just did an interview with the Overlap. So let's just take a look here. So this is according to the Manchester Evening News. Obviously, there's also been speculation. Oliver Glasner, Roberto De Zerbi, Michael Carrick, Gareth Southgate, Xavi, Xavi Alonso. So Xavi Alonso, Gareth Southgate, Michael Carrick, De Zerbi, Glasner. Xavi Alonso, yeah. So Xavi and Xavi Alonso, yeah. So there's your 6. Sorry, having a brain fart there. And you can add in 7 if it is involving Roberto Martinez. And I know there's talks with Ancelotti. There's others. Now, the one thing too is, with a manager, we're not going to, again, like I said, you're not going to get a manager who's going to build. You're going to get a manager who's going to come into a situation that has already been built for him. So you're basically getting a coach, because Wilcox is basically taking over the manager position and going on and so forth. But right now, they're going to set up an idea of what the manager should do, or the coach should do realistically, and that's the tough part. And listen, there's nothing wrong with this list, but when you look at it here, the only 3 here I see on this list that will be potential is Oliver Glasner, because he already plays the system that they want him to play. Carrick, because he's already here and he's an ex-Manchester United player, which is going to love. And then I'm going to say Gareth Southgate, maybe. Even Roberto Martinez, I wouldn't take it if he was him. I wouldn't. Because again, you want them to come in and you want them to be told what to do. And listen, even Southgate might be. So Xavi, again, I doubt he would want to be there. Xabi Alonso, same thing. But Alonso may go to Liverpool if something happens with Arne Slot. De Zerbi, I don't think he's going to come here because again, it's going to be I know he's leaving Marseille or he's left Marseille, but I don't think he's going to be able to get everything going. So you're going to look at him. He's gonna have an argument with the manager or with the team up above. So there's a lot of issues when trying to choose a manager or trying to choose a coach, because they're going to they want to put their voice in. They do. They want to put their voice in and hope that everything works out. But realistically, it wouldn't be. Because again, I know everyone keeps talking about the Ben Jacobs thing. Obviously, during the interview, you hear him saying what he was talking about with the quotes with Amorim, Bruno, all that stuff. Like again, if you get Roberto Martinez in, he's familiar with Delo and Bruno, which again, like nothing against that. But it is dangerous. It is. This club needs a change. Like, I'm sorry to say, the reason why I was big on Amorim is, and I'm still wishing that it was him, because he was here to try and build something for the future. And I've had these rants before. Like, I'm not going to go into it. I posted a reply on my Twitter, if you want to check that out. But Amorim was here for the future to build, set standards, rebuild the club to get it what it was. Carrick is just here for the future. Whoever, and the worst part is now, the ownership, and yes, this is going to be a call out to the ownership. The ownership realizes it's cheaper now just to sack managers in between than it is to try and go through a proper rebuild. They'll spend a little money. They'll be like, oh yeah, we did this, but the managers aren't working out. Unfortunately, until those owners go, it needs to be done. Ineos is failing. They're trying to sell their parts in Nice. Ineos, the company, is failing as well. So Sir Jim is in a troubleshoot, not only with his comments about what he said a couple weeks ago, which we are aware that the FAA is not going to proceed. So lucky him. But right now, they are in a situation where who are they going to choose? And they can spin Michael Carrick all you want. And you're seeing the news here of everyone trying to spin Carrick. And nothing against him. Nothing against for what he is doing. He's strategizing to the player's strengths. He is an ex-Man United player who has won Champions League, who's won trophies with the club. But we are still, like, if he comes in, and I forgot Nagelsmann. So realistically, 7 manager targets that could potentially be there for the squad. So realistically, Nagelsmann, Zerbi, Gareth Southgate because Sir Jim, Roberto. So let's do this again. Zerbi, Xabi, Alonso, Carrick, Glasner, Nagelsmann, Southgate, Martinez. So you have 8 managers that are potential targets. Now, realistically, I think Gareth Southgate won't be here. De Zerbi won't be here. Alonso definitely. Xavi, no. So there's your 4. Which leaves with Glasner, Nagelsmann, Martinez, Carrick. realistically, if you're looking at it, like those would probably be the four that they're really. Yeah. So again, let's just do that again. So De Zerbi, Xavi, Alonso, Nagelsmann, Carrick, Martinez, Glasner, Southgate. Realistically, who they're probably going to be looking at is Carrick, Nagelsmann, and yes, you can talk about Enrique as well. So you're looking at, so that's 9 now. But realistically, I think they're going to either go with Nagelsmann, Glasner, Carrick, and maybe Martinez. But I that's an iffy one. Maybe Enrique, but no. So realistically, that 4 that I said is really 3. So 5 of which I mentioned: Southgate, De Zerbi, Alonso, Xavi, and Martinez. You're left with Glasner, Carrick, and Nagelsmann. Those I would think would be the final 3. And even still, with I know everything that's going on with Crystal Palace because we're facing Glasner on Sunday. Depending on what happens there, he might be out of the running. So realistically, I think it's going to come down to these 2, Nagelsmann and Michael Carrick. Now, again, it's interesting that they're looking at Roberto Martinez because, again, I'm sure it's just a spin, a potential target, because of his interview today with Gary Neville and the overlap. So you're going to see those potentials. But again, it is a big step up. It is. And nothing, like, again, I support the Portuguese national team. And you don't get me wrong, you're going to have him come in, but he's seen the players that are there. He can control those players. He's not going to control anything at Manchester United. He's going to be limited on trying to do transfers. He's going to be limited on the squad that he's picking. It's not going to be his guys. Again, Shaw, Dalot, Maguire potentially. Nothing against Bruno, but they're all still going to be here. Like, Ugarte is potentially going to be sold. Again, like, Ineos is going to be questioning whether they need to spend money, and they're not going to have fucking money. Like, we're in this endless cycle of just garbage. And again, like, those 3 managers that I mentioned, they're all going to be coaches. And that's the one thing too. Like, maybe I take away Nagelsmann and it's Carrick and Glasner. That's realistically what I think it's going to be. It's going to come down to those 3 as a choice. I don't think it's going to be Enrique because he's going to want control. Same with De Zerbi, Alonso. Same with Xavi. Southgate is just getting a mention because of his connection with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I don't think Martinez is going to do anything because, again, he's coming in after the World Cup. That's the same issue with Nagelsmann. They're both coming in. So the transfer window is going to be limited. They're not going to have much time with those players because those managers are going to need break depending on where they finish in the World Cup standings. So again, like, you're probably going to be looking at between Carrick and Glasner. They're not my choices, but I think logically those are the 2 choices that they would go with. One of those 2. And the reason why maybe Carrick is because you can spin it. You can spin it. It's like, there you go. And not only that, you can use guys like Rio Ferdinand and also Gary Neville to basically be like, oh, it's really not like he's, it's their former teammate. That's the thing. It's their former teammate. They're not going to talk awful about him. They're not going to criticize what's happening. You'll have a couple interviews there. You'll have behind the scenes at Carrington and so on and so forth. You'll have one episode where him and Rio are probably walking through the halls of Carrington. Maybe Neville does a sit down. You may have him appear one episode of they're going to spin it with Carrick. And the ownership would do the exact same thing because it's a cover. Oh, look, the success he has. He knows the identity of Manchester United. But they're going to fuck him as soon as things don't go their way. The man, like, whoever comes in, they have to reestablish an identity. Yes, we were well aware Carrick knows the history, but this isn't the history of Manchester United for what he is doing. He's not building anything. He's a warden. That's all he is. And it's tough to say those words, but that's all he is. He's a warden. He's just sitting there telling him to play this and so on and so forth. And that's all it is. If we qualify for Champions League, the intensity has to turn up and the fitness has to be there. The depth has to be there and the quality of player has to be there. So unfortunately, and then money has to be there. Again, there's so many red flags going into this offseason. It is. Again, I mentioned 8. So I started off with looking at 7 managers, 8 managers because I forgot about Nagelsmann. You can put 9 in for Enrique, 10 technically with Ancelotti, but Ancelotti's not coming. You can talk about Kieran McKinnon as a potential for a 10th. I know Roy Keane mentioned Eddie Howe, but again, realistically, of those 9, let's say the 8. I think Enrique is not involved. Let's just put that away. Like I said, of the 8, Glasner, Carrick, and Nagelsmann are probably the 3 top choices. And it's a question mark on Glasner. It'd also be a question mark on Nagelsmann. Realistically, I'm saying that they're going to go for. Realistically, I'm saying Carrick is going to be our manager at the start of the summer. I'm calling it. I'm going to say that they're going to sign Carrick as the manager. And the reason why I say it is, like I mentioned, Alonso, no, because he could potentially be tied to Liverpool. And he's not going to have control, and he's going to have probably the same issues as Amorim did before. De Zerbi wants full control. He will go into an argument as well. You can mention Maresca too, but Maresca's going to, no, because they know what's going to happen. He had the same issue with Chelsea. Xavi, same thing. He's going to want control. All these managers, all these coaches that you want, air quote, let's just emphasize air quote coach, because we know it's bullshit. Alonso, De Zerbi, Xavi, who else was I looking at? Gareth Southgate. He's just getting a mention because it was linked to Sir Jim. I don't even think he's going to be interested in that. Roberto Martinez is not going to be there. So you have Glasner, who we're saying on Sunday might be an audition. You have Carrick and you have Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann doesn't have much experience in the Prem. Some of these players do have experience facing teams in the Prem and also playing. But Roberto Martinez has management experience in the Prem. Carrick is right now the option for it. You can maybe go with the fan favorite Nagelsmann. But realistically, let's put Roberto Martinez as the top 4 option. Realistically, let's just say that there, for 4 managers, Nagelsmann, Glasner, Carrick, and Carrick, Glasner, Nagelsmann, and Martinez. Those would probably be your 4 options. Because again, 1 is currently the manager. 2 of the managers have actually Premier League experience. Nagelsmann does not. But the problem is Nagelsmann and Martinez are coming off of a World Cup. So that's a tight window to try and get everything ready for the Premier League season. Carrick, you can spin because he is a former Manchester United player, so on and so forth. Nagelsmann is an upcoming manager, which has always been the story with Manchester United recently of, you get this type of manager in and boom, there you go. But we don't want to go down that road. Again, we may be going down this road again in 2.5 years, 3 years, probably 1.5 years. Just the window's getting smaller because, again, this board will be getting so much pressure from the so-called fans. And when I say so-called fans, the ex-players who are involved in the club giving decisions. And I'm going to say Sir Alex, Gary Neville, probably Rio, Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes. They're going to give them in, and they're going to feel the pressure of that. They're going to say the fans are calling out for a new manager. So they'll be pleasing to the fans. It's, yeah. And again, the worst part is we're going to turn on Carrick. That's the worst thing. Like, everyone brings, and I'm going to go back to Amram because I know that it's been whatever. Amram, everyone talks about Grimsby and Amram, and what happened with Amram. And I did that episode before. And if you want to take a look at that, listen to that episode, like, I hope you agree with what I said. But nobody, when they bring up Grimsby, talks about the players. Nobody. Cunha, Mbuemo had options to win the game on their penalties. They did not show up. The starters that we put in were manhandled. Fredrickson, Aiden Heaven, Andre Onana, all shit the bed. Maguire didn't play well. Kobe Mainu wasn't doing anything in the first half. Our attack wasn't doing anything. When we brought players in for the second half, we saw it come back. But at the same time, too, you can talk about tactics until the cows go home. Like I've said before, Amram could have gone on that field, told the players what the fuck to do, and they still all fucked it up. And they did. But no, it was about Amram and his tactics. Him and his little board. That's what everyone wants to spin. Everton, again, that's on the players. Like, the players had opportunities to shoot. And I gave credit to Jordan Pickford that episode. He had time to fucking save everything. But these players, down tools, mentality, just couldn't. They just, for some reason, they couldn't handle pressure. You're seeing it now because the manager's not being so tough. The manager's just laying back and doing whatever, and you're seeing freedom. Yes, I'm air quoting freedom. So, and it's going to be the same window again and again and again. And how long are we going to stand here for? We're going to repeat this again. It's going to be me in a month, 2 months, 6 months. But overall, when we're looking at it here, when we're talking about managers, realistically, of those eight, 4 are potential realistic, are potentials. Realistically, 2 are realistic. Maybe 3. And so, like, 4 are an idea, 2, 3 are realistic, and 1 is probably going to happen. But right now, what are we going to look at here? Like, the manager, we need something. We need someone there to change the ideas, make sure we're holding players accountable, building a locker room that can grow on, getting rid of, like, they have to get rid of players. Shaw has to go. Delo has to go. Maguire, you might as well just let him go. Like, just let him go on a free. I get it. But you have Lenny Euro, Aiden Heaven there. You have Licha there. You're going to be bringing in additional pieces. Don't be going by a fan favorite. And again, it's great. He's turning it around, but maybe it's time to move on from Maguire. Bruno, I love, and I will see him during the Portuguese national team and all that. But maybe sell on him too. Cash in. If you're worried about funds, cash in. Because I know we're going to have Hoyland, we're going to have Rashford sales. You're going to have probably Xerxes, Ugarte sales. If you can throw in Bruno, you can get some more with that. And I'm not trying to betray Bruno or anything, but it's realistically, because you're going to have to change the atmosphere in that room. You're going to have to change it to a way that's setting standards for the club. And you have to change from that's still there. It's the truth. Shaw, Maguire, Delo, all those players that I mentioned will have to go. And again, I know you don't want to lose Bruno, but it's time for you have to separate everything that's been there before. And if Roberto Martinez comes in, Bruno's staying because he's familiar with the coach. Same with Diego Delo. They're not going to go if Roberto Martinez is there. So, but yeah. I hope everyone liked today's episode. I hope everyone did. But yes, the manager search, There's a concern. And those 8 that I mentioned, you let me know what you think. But it's going to be tough. Because, like I said, Martinez, that's what sparked me to discuss the manager, was the Martinez interview. But if you look at it here, like, there's a lot of concern. There is concern for all of it. It's about Premier League experience from what they want. It's about how the fans will like it. So in the end, I think it's going to be Carrick. Carrick will be the manager for next season, because they're going to find a way to spin it so well that it was a great idea, and that Carrick's done a fantastic job and a massive improvement. But when Carrick actually has to be a manager and set terms and set everything to be there, for what he's doing now will not be there next season. That is the thing. And then we're going to start hearing rumors about Carrick, the locker room. Like, we're going to hear it all again. So we're going to get fooled by this ownership. We're going to get fooled by Wilcox on this board again. So, but yeah. So let me know what you think. But I think in the end, it's going to be Michael Carrick, just for, like I said, Xavi, Alonso, Gareth Southgate, and De Zerbi. They're not going to be involved. They're not. Nagelsmann will be joining after the World Cup, just like Roberto Martinez. That will be an issue. I don't think Enrique is coming here because he's going to want control. Those 4 that I mentioned. Anyone that's coming here is going to want a voice, and not a limited voice. They want full control. But that won't happen. So yeah, I'll leave it there. I will be back tomorrow night doing a preview episode for Sunday's match against Crystal Palace, and then post game on Sunday, as well as live watch along as well. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Like, subscribe, follow YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and also social media, Instagram, TikTok, or X. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.